your motorsport and motoring radio show. Now on 88.5 FM, The Valley Comes Alive. And podcasting across iTunes and talkandpower.com.au.
Welcome back to Talk and Power, episode 232. I am your host, Michelle Morrison, and joining me, as always, is Nick DeCimbre and Simon Gonzo Travellini. How are we doing, boys?
Hello, Michelle. Simon, how are you?
Doing well, keeping busy?
I heard you've started a new job.
I have.
Very exciting.
I have. We should start off with some new headlines, though. So let's kick it off with the NASCAR results from the Phoenix Straight Talk Wireless 500. Ryan broke a 3-race winning streak from Tyler Reddick in the 23-11 racing. Ryan Blaney in his Penske Ford took out first place, followed by Christopher Bell in Joe Gibb Toyota. And in third place, it was Carl Larson in the Rick Hendrick Chevrolet. Formula One results, it was George Russell from Mercedes taking the win in Melbourne, Kimi Antonelli from Mercedes in second, and Charles Leclerc for Ferrari for third place. Supercar support in Melbourne, we saw Brodie Kostecki taking 3 wins from 4 races across the weekend, Brock Feeney winning the other race. Adam Truella, aka Borneo, won his 4th Peroni Classic in a row. He also won Prologue. Thank you.
Sorry.
Jared Percival came in second and Mark Kramer in third.
It's Nick's spelling, as usual.
Well, I mean,
Did I spell Prologue wrong?
It usually is my pronunciation, so I'll just add that to my list of ones I need to practice then.
Did you guys catch the Formula One?
I did.
Look,
yes,
I saw some highlights. It was, wow. What is it? What is it? Is it the cars? Are they? We spoke so much last episode about it being such a new learning curve for them with so many changes in the car structure itself. But some of these lockups that we saw, and it was just...
Oh, that was that Ripple strip.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you know that there's a Oscar Piastri burger, both grilled and Coles. Coles have done a Wagyu patty for theirs. Grilled have done a chicken and bacon burger. I went to grilled. I thought, I'm going to support Oscar.
While watching the race.
I'll get a grilled burger and sit down and watch the race. And I grabbed it. I was walking towards the table. The bottom fell out. Burger fell on the ground. 2 buns took off. Chicken got splattered everywhere. I just sit there disappointed with just the chips.
Much like Oscar's race, I guess.
much like everyone in Melbourne that paid $300 for a ticket.
That paid $80 for their hats, for their caps.
But it was like, I mean, while we're talking about it, a lot of people sympathetic towards Oscar, and I guess I am a little bit. I'm a big Oscar fan, but I don't know. It was the sighting lap. It was the sighting lap, and he's on the curb gassing it up.
To all those people that are sympathetic, all those people out there that are sympathetic, that guy gets paid like tens of millions of dollars. He couldn't even get it to the grid.
Yeah, I'm with you, Simon. I really am. I was really disappointed. Then the excuse machine fires up, and there was no torque in the engine for the first part of the lap, and he had no battery backup. He had no battery supply there. There was no torque, and then suddenly the torque came on while he was on the. Why was he on the curb to start with on a sighting lap?
Yeah.
It was clear it came off the curb, and he was still on the gas, and it just unloaded the tyre.
Yeah, he made a mistake.
And he destroyed the car. It wasn't even like...
I know, yeah. It's not as if, he could limp it back to the pit and start from pit lane and get,
But that's
give
what
the
I mean,
Australians something.
Why would he be on the curb? Is it because of the actual dimensions that have changed with the car in itself?
No.
He can actually get through there on qualifying.
It's a sighting lap. He's basically driving the car out to take it around to the grid. Like in some sports, they get the crew to do that job. You know what I mean?
They'll even trust the crew in there.
No, but
not in Formula One, but
you've had someone in the car to tow it out to the staging lanes.
I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm a bit of a princess, but on the 40-degree days, I won't put my suit on.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Climbing only to jump out.
That's what, in essence, that's what he was doing. I know, we're probably going to get a lot of hate mail for this, but I'm with you 100%. I could not fathom it. Even my kids were looking at me and said, "Dad, that's Oscar." I said, "Yeah, I know it's Oscar, but that's a rookie error."
If it was Dick Johnson, a privateer, crashing out at Bathurst during qualifying or hitting the rock during the race, the rock that mysteriously ended up on the track, I would have all the sympathy.
Yeah.
But not when you're getting paid tens of millions of dollars and you crash the car before the race even starts.
Yeah.
Especially at your home track when it was clear by the sea of orange that most of the people there were there to cheer for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you got distracted by the crowd.
But even last year, we were bitterly disappointed. Like, he lost it. I can't remember what lap it was. It was lap 9 last year, or whatever it was. I'll stand corrected. But where he crashed out in the wet on that painted white line, that was, you can kind of forgive him for that. But this one's, I don't know, sorry, for me, it's unforgivable.
So I at the beginning of the race, I was very excited and I was welcoming this new era because there was some genuine racing going on. It was overtaking. It just looked like, wow, this season is going to be awesome. Then Ferrari did their usual, their standard, no strategy.
Yeah,
right.
It was a bit of a shocker.
And then you just saw the field open up. I mean, there were some cars that were 2 laps down.
Yeah. It was pretty ordinary.
So I don't know. I think I sent the group message. I think there was like 20 laps to go, maybe 23 laps, saying, is this going to be followed?
Yeah,
it's going to be followed.
And it was exactly follow the leader from that point onwards. Yeah. Right.
And there was still some great battles. And Verstappen, I love him, but you can't argue that was the drive. I mean, even the commentators said that was definitely the drive of the event. He went from, was it
20th, I think?
Yeah, to 6th.
Yeah.
But, they had to look at battles further back because there was nothing going on up the front. And that's, look, maybe they'll get some updates along the way.
Yeah.
It was interesting to hear the Mercedes teams saying that they went to the grid with flat batteries.
Yeah,
that was very bizarre.
Yeah, it was interesting watching the dashboard graphics and watching those battery levels charge up, and then they were able to get more power and then come back down, and having to time it. Like, it's.
That is a new perspective to the sport, and I think they need to make that a little bit bigger, perhaps, as well. The battery charging, like the graphics, make it a little bit small.
It kind of looked like they were always running on empty. It never stayed. Look, it wasn't full, but it took a long time for it to charge up.
You would want to use the battery as soon as there's some in there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then it was kind of like you want to be timing it against your corners and your straights. So then you've got your most battery to then create the most power when you're on the straights than when you're doing something.
You know what, Michelle? Those cars look like... It looked to me as if they can take nearly all the power everywhere. Did you notice that they were giving it... Like, they'd get into these crazy battles and they'd be on the outside and they'd be on it. You know what I mean?
That's what I like that as well. It's quite exciting. On the outside, they were sort of giving it.
But it kind of the thing that I didn't get was all the ramblings leading up to this. They were saying that they were going to give them less grip to make it more exciting to watch, but it didn't appear like that. It appeared like they were stuck.
They've cleaned the air up, but that's one thing they have done. So the air coming out the back of the car is being cleaned up.
Yeah.
So it's not so much dirty air coming out the back of the car. So the car behind
they can have better battles.
Can follow closer.
I see.
Yeah, but like those opening laps, especially the start was amazing. One of the most exciting starts that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But,
it was good.
Anyway,
I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the season. Off to China next, so I'm looking forward to it.
Now, you were busy in Mildura.
Yes.
Tell us all about it, and because you did know at the last podcast, but Michelle being Michelle didn't want to boast or.
Look, at the last time we were recording, I had received an email asking if I was available to come on board the commentary team for the NDRC for the Twilight Nationals in Mildura. And coming on board for the podcast last fortnight, you guys said, "Oh, can we talk about it?" I said, "Well, better wait for the phone call tomorrow to confirm everything." But I had the fantastic opportunity to go over with NDRC, and it really was an amazing experience. I was there, a part of the broadcasting team, and my position was to be doing the deep end interviews, as we all know.
So you're our very own. What's Erica's sister's name?
No,
Courtney.
I know how you feel about Courtney, and I'm not sure if I want to be put in the same category.
I didn't mean it that way. I mean, I think she does a pretty good job.
Since when? She does. Courtney. But I know that you are, Nick. But I
tell you what.
Have we said it on air before?
It is great to see the banter between Brian Loams. Obviously, he feels the same way as I do about Courtney, because any opportunity he's got to have a dig.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Like he was saying that Erica had her older sister to look up to show her the ropes on how to become a champion drag race. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, so as many would have seen and heard, that unfortunately Saturday's racing did get cancelled about only 20 minutes or so into the broadcast, with no racing being done in that time while they were drying the track. We'll take it back though to Friday. Friday we did have a fantastic afternoon of racing and qualifying. So it was really great to be there amongst the atmosphere. There's always something special about country town racetracks, and just it's really visible to see how much of the community puts into operating that venue and for those events to happen. And
they had 4 top fuel cars there?
4 top fuelers, yep. They had Steve Reed, Carl Putland and Phil Lamartina, and he also brought out the second car with Shane Olive driving for the team again since 22-23 season. So
any track records? I
think Shane Olive did do a very solid pass, 3:79, I believe, in qualifying. Whether it was a track record or not, I think it was, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a little bit hard to gain previous run data for that track, but there was some hype around it. So, yeah,
that's fast on any track.
It is,
yeah. So,
so you're going to do it again?
Of course. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to really prove myself as a strong enough candidate for the role, so I'll just have to wait and see whether I get the call up to do.
So on Friday, you weren't called upon?
Friday wasn't broadcasted.
Oh, okay,
no,
right.
No. So I did have the opportunity to really be able to get in deep with the race teams themselves and really hear about the stories that are working within those teams and building up for the season.
Yeah. So help me understand, or help our listeners understand. So on the Friday, they said to you, all right, Michelle, this is the list of entries here. Go around and have a yak with them, or?
So for the broadcasting side of things, it's the deep end interviews for the Group 1 rounds, and then for the finals for sportsmen's. So I spent my time on Friday just really building those relationships with the racers, so then I could just have open and natural conversations in the deep end to make things flow quite smoothly for them and for myself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So did you have any practice or
me and myself in the mirror at my accommodation?
Okay. No, I thought maybe on Friday might have been an opportunity.
This is my experience here with you, Nick and Simon.
No, it's interesting. I'm really curious to know what would have been involved.
So for the deep end interviews, they wanted to make it specific on speaking about the pass itself.
Yeah.
Not going too deep into the stories behind about what they've been working on in the off seasons or what they are hoping to come for this season forward. So it was really to be able to share the result of the pass with them, giving them their run times, then be able to commentate on what I've seen, what they felt, and then add in that little bit of backstory as well. So yeah.
So on that note, on the Insider NHRA Insider podcast, Tony Pedregon's always talking about smashing the time slip printout machine at the deep end, right? He's always talking about it, and
he doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it because he thinks that the drivers are more concentrated on that and analysing that than they are letting their emotions rip.
That's interesting.
This is what if you listen to the last episode he makes, which was the episode before the Gators, Yet, watching the Gators and watching Courtney give the top-end interview with the time slip, hand over the time slip, I found the opposite to be true.
Yeah, I would.
This
I
is the
didn't
first time
see
they're
it.
doing that for the NHRA. They're actually giving them their time slips. Usually you'll see someone from the crew come across with it, but they're doing it as part of their interview now, giving them the time slips.
Yeah, which is something that he has been fighting against.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
actually-
weird because I don't agree. I'm not on the same page. I think that adds a new layer of.
I think it does with this particular, and we'll get to it when we cover the NHRA results, but with this particular crop of drivers that we have now, because we do have a lot of, not necessarily new, we do have some new drivers, new to their class, new to their team, but we have drivers that wouldn't have gotten the limelight that they're getting now, right? As much, right?
Yeah.
And in that respect, because the
Use
problem,
your time to...
well, they've just got rawer emotions. You know what I mean? What I found with a lot of the drivers from last season, say Austin Prock, for example, he's very robotic and very, very sort of, corporate-y, and that's boring.
Up until the weekend.
Corporate?
Yeah, up until the weekend.
That's
Up until the
another story.
weekend, but we'll get there. No, like and he's got that kind of really robotic.
He's a little bit nerdy. I agree.
Yeah. He's not. You've experienced it when you win. You just want to, you know?
And that's the thing. I suppose if they're giving them their run slips,
Someone
you
like,
win, you win. It's
I know,
like,
but-
why do you need to see how much you won by necessarily? But
Someone like Prock is going, well, I went all 43 on the late there. I probably could shave a little bit off.
Yeah.
No one cares.
But it made me think back to when Jasmine Salinas, she was interviewed after a race and she'd won. She was like the second winner in the 4 wide to then proceed through. And she was being interviewed and she didn't know that she actually got through. And then they've said something and then she's pulled away from the microphone and said, did I get through? Like, did I win that? Like,
so that's sad because
okay.
when she
I'm
knows,
through.
she explodes like a firecracker.
But when you're in that 4 wide format and you don't know who's alongside you and what's happening.
That is another
when, and it's
layer
like-
of not complexity, but it's another layer of drag racing.
I'll tell you something about drag racing. It is the only sport in the world where the driver celebrates by themselves. The crew's at that end.
Crew's still at the other end.
No, do you know what? I celebrate with the fire crew. I celebrate with the fire crew, and they know that now. And I actually feel bad for whoever my opposition is, because if I win, like the guys in the braking area, the fire crew, they all go wild, and I'm like, and it's great because otherwise, it's a bit like.
Yeah.
High five yourself.
Yeah, you got to wait for him to come down with a toke.
Do you know, you might not know this, you will know this, but you might not know this. There was a time at the Perth Motorplex, there was no wind light. So you would get all the way to the top end.
There still isn't on the right-hand side.
Anyway, and pull in and have no idea whether you'd won or not.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. And because, so someone's parachute took out the light on the right-hand side, I think.
On one side.
On one side. And so sometimes it's like, I didn't see it. I didn't see a light, but did I just not see it and blink at the right time, or,
In
or
2000
did I
and
not?
2001.
It was a while. It was
didn't
probably
know.
5
You
years,
didn't
I reckon. It was 5 years. It was longer than that.
I'd be driving back up because I was in Super Street, so
Yeah.
you used to drive back. I'd be driving back up, go, oh, red.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know.
I do remember. I just think that the bulb system on the side, it just hasn't been consistent enough because it gets taken out by the parachutes, which is totally understandable.
You used to do another thing too where, I can't remember if it was a red light or a breakout, it would go on and then turn off and turn on in the other
that's
lane.
correct. Yeah, for breakouts, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
it would turn on
breakouts,
green,
sort of,
but
yeah.
then switch across.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes it even does that on the timing boards above.
Yeah.
It will have a quick
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
across. But I rely on the deep end crew to let me know, and sometimes they'll do like a clap and give the thumbs up, and then I'm pointing and I'm like, me? Is that to me? Like, is that yes to me?
I know Wasma, Greg and the team at Wasma, and even Westside at the time, they lobbied very hard for that win light. That was a topic of discussion, like every meeting. When are we getting this win light? We need a win light. Because no one had any idea whether they won or not.
Yeah. It's there's still times, and there's still times, and I was with Nicholas Rowe, and we're both standing there and we're like waiting for our tow cars, and Mandy comes up and we're like, so she's like, do you know? We're like, no. We're like, tell us which one, who? You know, it's but it's fun. It's fun because I've got a great bunch of competitors that I'm.
But it's also so cool when the race is that close that you can't tell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's also like sometimes it's like, well, I know I crossed the stripe first, but did I break out? You know, and it's like. Sometimes it's just hard to tell for dial-in.
Have you ever missed the red light? Like you've read but you didn't see it?
When...
Like what he's saying is you've let go of the button, it's come up red, but you haven't seen it.
But then I haven't seen that I've been red. Yeah, that's happened. Yeah. When you first said it, I was trying to think back to...
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure, I'm sure.
Always, when drivers say that, I always go, huh?
Do you do like that with your fingernail?
It was probably when I'd have like massive tyre shake in my...
then you can't see anything. That's different.
To the left side of the wall, and I'm facing the opposite way to the Christmas tree. But I reckon that's happened before, where I've been down there and I haven't realised that I've actually read. Yeah. Usually, or then like you see it come up on the board, on the timing board, and you're like, oh, you more see it by that. But when you first started speaking of that, I was trying to think of what the issue was in Sydney, when I thought that I did a bad reaction time being too slow, but then it came up red because their timing beam was picking up the wrong point of the cars. Remember when I spoke about doing the Sydney State Round and they'd put the barriers on the lights, and so the laser was actually picking up different points of the car's rims instead of the tyre.
Yeah.
And so you could have been... you think you're so shallow just to turn that light on, but it's actually picked up a different point of your rim.
Right, so you're in a lot deeper.
Yeah, I thought I'd done a really bad, meaning slow reaction time, because I had a fuel leak just as we fired up the car. I had a fuel leak, and then we were rushing to get into the pits. And I was like, okay, breathe. Like, I'm going really fast. Let's just breathe, be calm, because I don't plan on coming in red hot, like go for every round, you know. And so I was like, just get back to a normal heart rate, like just. And then I was like, oh, that was really slow. And then it was like red, and I was like, huh? How? Like, but.
We're going to have a heavy metal backing track tonight by the sounds of it.
Yes, a lot of
Is the outside door shut?
I'm going to go check, because it sounds like it does. Oh, you shut it?
I'll check.
I closed it.
There's a lot of sound leak. Sorry, we'll just...
Well, what do you know?
I don't know. Maybe they haven't got their door shut.
That's okay. Trent doesn't trust me either with things like that.
I don't know if someone walked past them.
Yeah, of course. To see if anyone's in.
Michelle having a go at me there.
But
it's all right. I can take it.
I was like, you know what? I'll just hear the apology afterwards. No problem. Oh, you were right, Michelle. You were.
I didn't say you were wrong. I just thought I'd check it.
Oh, gosh.
We're in a recording studio, so someone could have walked past them.
Yeah, double door, which is really...
Yeah. I wonder if they've got their door shut.
It's loud, eh?
It's loud. It's
quite noticeable.
When you can get it through the headphones, that's loud. So, World Series of Pro Mod.
Yeah. How awesome was it to see our man, Aaron Stanfield, take the win, our pro stock son of a gun, son of Greg. His dad's Greg, isn't it? Greg Stanfield.
Yeah.
Defeated Peter Norton in a massively close final by just 0.003 seconds. Stanfield was racing a pro mod for the first time in the Winter Series, making the win even more impressive. The winning pass was a 3.57 with a 6 at 210 mile an hour, was enough to hold off Norton's 3.58 8 with a 5 at 210 mile an hour. It's a side-by-side pass that just decided by inches, basically. Want to shout out here to the Aussie team, Frank Marchese and Daniel Sabolic. It was piloted by Ryan Martin of Street Outlaws fame, unfortunately they went out in round 1, but at least they qualified for the event. They qualified in 29th. I just want to mention some names here. Kai Kelly, Erica Enders, Melanie Salemi, Steve King, Jim Halsey, Manny Bajinga, and Kurt Stenning were just a few names that didn't even qualify for this event.
Wow.
Was it 4 or 6 hundredths from number 1 to 32?
Yeah, it was like something crazy like that. It was just,
But I know Wes Buck listens to this show every episode.
He probably does, you know.
The parity issue.
Yeah.
For Pro Charge, well, I don't have to all Pro Charge, but centrifugally blown 69 Camaros in the semis, that's not good.
Yeah, it's starting to get a bit that way, isn't it? But
yeah.
Even the US Street Nationals sort of swaying towards Pro Charger cars now. And
even Pro Mod at the NHRA, they were both centrifugally blown in the finals. So, yeah. So anyway, moving on to the NHRA.
Moving on, the 2026 NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series kicked off at Gainesville Raceway in Florida on the weekend. Well, finishing up this morning, really, didn't it? With the 57th annual Amali Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals opening both the new season and the 75th anniversary year of NHRA drag racing. As always, Gainesville delivered big storylines and emotional wins.
In Top Fuel, the headline story of the weekend came from Josh Hart, who scored a massive victory in his debut race with John Force Racing. Hart defeated reigning Top Fuel champion Doug Coletta in the final round with a strong 373 pass at 337 mile per hour against Doug's 387 at 319. He also set the speed record for the track and put down a 340 mile per hour pass.
That is right.
Did you see the top end interview when he won?
No.
So all of the winners were very emotional, but out of all of them, I've never really been a fan of Josh Hart.
You've made that clear on this podcast.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I take it all back because it was just pure raw emotion. He thanked so many people for the opportunity. John Force, Speedmaster, his sponsor. Mm-hmm. You really saw a different side to him.
Yeah.
I think maybe all those years funding it himself, he had to have that bit of a chip on his shoulder. But absolutely, this whole event, he was very humble and well-deserving. And I'm happy for him. I think it's fantastic for not just him, John Force Racing as well. What an amazing job to Aussie Dave Grubnick tuning the car as well.
Yep.
To be able to take her out of the car. Mm-hmm. And this is something that Tony Pedregon made a point of in the Insiders. A lot of people blame stuff, right? Like we hear the weight of the driver get blamed a lot. Tony Stewart blamed his difference in weight between him and Leah, right? This has been a point. And like Tony said, after they tested with this car, didn't seem to affect them.
Yeah.
So very, very happy for that whole team.
That was really nice. And a home win for Josh Hart as well.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently got told off by the NHRA because he had so many people.
Too many people. Too many people. I did see his interview post the track record, and he spoke really sincere.
Yes, that's exactly what I
really
got out
sincere.
of it.
Yeah. Qualifying for number 1 as well, Josh Hart. On race day, he worked through a tough ladder, taking out Dan Messier, Trip Tatum and 4-time champion Antron Brown before lining up against Coletta in the final.
For Hart, the victory marked his 3rd career Top Fuel win and his first in nearly 5 years, instantly putting the new John Force partnership on notice.
In funny car, Chad Green continued his love affair with Gainesville Raceway by going back-to-back at the Gator Nationals.
Green's parts of the final included wins over Terry Haddock, Matt Hagan, Jordan Vandergriff before facing off against Alexa DeJoria. Green drove his Bond Coat Mustang through eliminations and then ran a 3.95 with a 9 at 330 mile per hour in the final defeat Alexa DeJoria, who ran a slowing 5.06. She struck the tyres at 300 feet. Once again, very emotional in the trophy presentation, thanking a lot of people, including, I can't remember the sponsor's name, but it was a sponsor that had been with him for a while. I personally think these guys have done an incredible job for such a small team. How many wins they have gotten.
Yeah, they do really. They bat above their weight, those guys.
Way above their weight.
Yeah, and he got. Did he have some wins last season, or he got pretty
correct?
close?
Yes,
yeah.
He had some big wins last season.
Yeah.
Like he, and just, you know, to be able to fund your own operation is just incredible. Because I mean, I believe that on average these things are about $5 million a season to run.
That's wild,
you know, and then you've got all that stress as well. I mean, it's a little bit different if you're doing it like Ron Capps, who does it. That's his job.
Yeah.
Right. He's got Bondcoat that he's got to run, and his son works there as well. So, you know, they're managing a family business, literally a family business, and getting to the track, doing all these events, and, you know, having to oversee. I'm sure that their crew chief is you know, running the show, but you still need to provide them with a workshop and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Massive undertaking.
So much goes into it. In pro stock, Matt Hartford ended a long winless streak with an impressive performance in Gainsville. Hartford defeated a stacked lineup during eliminations, including Kenny Delco, Aaron Stanfield, and reigning world champion Dallas Glenn, before facing 6-time world champion Greg Anderson in the final.
Did you see that they made a point of telling him how many meetings it's been?
Yeah.
It's 40 something.
Yeah, and which ended up being for 5 years. I'm getting lost between which notes I've written for
I
who.
don't remember, but I just remember him sort of being like, it's been that long.
Thanks. There was probably a lot of people who didn't know that.
No, that's right. Hartford sealed the win with a 6.53 at 2:10, beating Anderson 6.56 with a 2 at 2:09 to claim his first victory since 2023 and the 9th of his career.
In Pro Stock Motorcycle, they produced plenty of tight racing throughout eliminations, including some dramatic reaction time battles in the early rounds. But it was the birthday boy and reigning champion Richard Gadsden who captured the season opening win, giving the Vance and Hines camp another strong start to the year.
Once again, very emotional. Gadsden, I look, you know, I always tell you guys, don't read the comments. Who cares? You know what I mean? Gadsden, I think, reads the comments, and he was saying, you know, when he accepted the trophy, there's a lot of people that said I didn't deserve to win the championship last year, and that, you know, he didn't actually say it, but he was alluding to the fact that people felt as though Gage got robbed because the Pomona event got rained out.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you know, I deserve this, and it was vindication that he should have won. Great start to the season for him. Gadsden defeating Gino Scar. Oh, so glad to see Gino Scar there. Gino needs to lose a bit of weight. Gino needs to lose. They reckon he's about 60 pounds too heavy from what I heard in the pits. But anyway, Gino Scarley, Chase Van Sant, Clayton Howie before defeating John Hall in the finals, running a 6.753 at 200 mile an hour with a reaction time of 0.18 against John Hall's 6.79, 198 mile an hour with the slower 0.47 light.
And that was quite a significantly slower reaction time from the others John Hall was making throughout eliminations. I think all 3 of his elimination passes before the finals were actually double O's.
Yeah, I think he won on whole shot.
I wanted to add on what you were saying about Richard Gadsden, though, because they actually showed a segment within the episode on Chasing Speed about Pomona's being cancelled. And when they got the news about the event being cancelled, you know, you could see there wasn't that, hooray, like I've won.
Yeah.
And it was just a bit of a ease into that height of the emotion there. But Gage Herrera actually spoke so nicely of Richard Gadsden and how deserving he was for that. And I just thought that was really humble coming from, you know, who was close in second place with a strong fight for it. To be able to say.
It's just sad that everyone couldn't just be happy for Gadsden and had to, there were these people that had to say that like Gage got robbed, and it was like, those points don't accumulate themselves. And he did have he had a couple of unlucky races, but that's part of the gig, and these guys work on these bikes.
I think it's all just outside of commentary, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, they all had the same chances, they all had the same opportunities to make and to be able to gain those wins and to be able to advance. And it wasn't an even score. They both played the same.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Richard came from behind to win the championship. Like he was behind, like
he was pretty.
He didn't get the lead
last season.
The spanner in the works is Brandon Davies.
Yes, yeah,
because he came along and just whipped everyone's butt.
But I think maybe I don't recall speaking of Richard Gadsden much the season prior.
No, he didn't have a ride.
He wasn't riding
no,
then? Well, that's why we weren't speaking about him.
So I believe that both these guys are from no-bar bikes originally, Gage Herrera and Gadsden, so they knew each other. And when they were talking about putting together a second team, because one of the other riders was stepping off, I think Gage said, hey, this guy's pretty good. Because, look, I have the most respect for any sort of bike rider, whether it's, a bracket bike right through, because there's no protection, you know what I mean? And your weight distribution by where you position yourself on a bike has a dramatic effect on the performance of the bike. Those guys that ride those no-bar bikes, they're crazy because they've got nearly as much power as say, Jay Upton's bike on basically, what resembles a factory frame on a small tyre, no wheelie bar.
Yeah, I just clicked with the no-bar bike reference. It's the no wheelie bar.
Correct, yes. Kelly Betts's
Blaze
partner,
Hansen.
Blaze, he races one, and I believe he's been well over 200 mile an hour on that.
Wow.
And, it's just a different, because I follow that cycle drag a fair bit. Jack, his name is. A very controversial character.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah, it brings a lot of fun to the sport. I think it's good to have a controversial character. But, when you see those guys, they're just a different community, just a totally different community. And I think it comes from the fact that every time they take one of those things down the track, you don't know if you're going to be alive at the end of the run, more or less, you know what I mean? It's like the MotoGP riders. They come across totally different to the F1 drivers. You don't see, when you see the F1 drivers, they're always wearing Gucci or something, and they're in some thing overdressed with some,
But
it's just
but
totally.
I have to say, did you see what Matt Hagan was wearing on the weekend? I hadn't even written it down, but I have to if you say.
No, what was he wearing? Because he normally wears overalls.
He was wearing an alligator skin trench coat.
Yeah.
Obviously doing it as a bit of mockery, but I was
but the thing is with Matt Hagan, he probably caught that with his bare hands.
With his bare hands.
He probably dived into a swamp while he was there and skinned it while he was at the track and made the jacket himself. He's a big guy, eh?
He's huge.
Yeah.
He seems to be getting bigger each year.
I actually think he's come down from I think he's
a legit cowboy too.
Yeah, totally. Farmer.
Totally legit cattle rancher,
Yeah.
So cool.
But I know what you mean. They're just going back to the bike riders, they're risking a lot and they're at peace with knowing the potential outcomes.
So Brandon Davies is racing, I forget the guy's name, but it's a Bandito, I think, tequila team. It's a V-twin team.
Bandito tequila.
Is it? I think it's. Is it tequila?
That's Alexis's.
Yeah, so I think
right?
it's.
They've got a bike now.
Yeah, well, they've been sponsoring this guy for a while, but he hasn't been a front runner. Hasn't been a front runner, but they put down some really good numbers.
The hairdressing guy, isn't he? The hairdresser.
Yes, Paul Mitchell.
Yeah,
Paul DeJoria. Paul Mitchell's the hair brand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the brand.
Shark
correct.
Tank.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they put down some really good numbers, and it'll be interesting to watch that team develop, because in an interview, I forget the guy's name, and I apologise for this. He said that SNS, which is a Harley Davidson brand, performance parts, they want to get back into drag racing, and they're negotiating a deal now with SNS to CNC components for them, because they still do it the old school way. They still hand port, hand machine the cylinder heads.
Right.
It takes them forever to do it because his dad is a cylinder head guy. So his dad, that's the way he has done it for all these years. They haven't got all the CNC gear. Mm-hmm. So they're hoping that they can take their heads that they've developed and get SNS to CNC them for them. So it'd be interesting to watch that team. They had some really good licks in testing, and they qualified well at this event. And, we've already seen what Braden can do. He's an incredible rider. So it's another one in there. We're starting to see the V-Twins. V-Twins got a little bit of a weight taken off of them. Mm-hmm. I think they're a lot more even now than they have been in the last couple of seasons. So, anyway.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting season ahead, but let's not forget Pro Mod for the NHRA. In the JBS Equipment NHRA Pro Mod Drag Racing Series, it was Derek Menholt who opened the 2026 season with a victory at Gainesville Raceway.
Driving the Scott Tidwell Racing 69 Camaro, also centrifugally supercharged. Anyway, Menholt qualified. I was hoping I wasn't going to have to say this guy's name. Anyway, qualified ninth, but turned it on when eliminations began. He worked through a tough ladder, defeating Mike Thielen? Chip King.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and the reigning Pro Mod World Champ, J.R. Gray, to reach the final round.
In the final, Menholt faced Lyle Barnett. Barnett left the line too early, going red by just 0.03 of a second, handing Menholt the win. Menholt still laid down a solid 5.69 second pass at 251 mile per hour to secure the victory.
And that was Hart Charger on Lyle Barnett's car versus Pro Charger on Menholt's car.
Right.
Both those guys, sorry to interrupt, but qualified 5th and 6th at the World Series of Pro Mod the week before.
Ah.
There you go.
Both those gentlemen.
So,
some noteworthy mentions.
Buddy Hull's explosion and subsequent fire. So did we ever figure out whether Buddy Hull is a fireman? No,
I wasn't motivated to do the
investigation. That one up in my memory bank.
That was one intense fire.
Yeah,
and he burned his hand, and apparently that was the hand he damaged in another crash.
Another one that that was
yeah,
while
was
he had
recent.
the time out.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he got out okay. Unfortunately, the parachute hooked onto Terry Haddock's chute launcher, tore the back of the body and put the front of the funny car into the wall.
Yeah,
but
he came out right in front of him, and it was still bad, but it could have been a lot worse. When they lose sight and control of the cars and coming across into the other lane, and Terry said he couldn't see a thing. He didn't know what was happening, and
it was just black inside of it.
When that fire, the most amazing thing about that fire was it was burning really intense, still at high speed. So, it's not putting the fire out. Normally, when it's high speed, the flames are like being almost exhausted, but they're not. It doesn't work that way.
It's so combusted inside of the funny car body itself.
Yeah, but when it's at high speed, that doesn't put the flame out. That fans the flames. Right? It pushes
Oxygen
the crank.
feeds fire.
Yeah, that's it. It pushed the crank out. So there was 40 litres of oil. Hot oil mixed with nitro. Horrific. But he got out, aside from a few burns on his hand.
Walked over, said his apologies to Terry. Terry was very understanding, but it's hard for Buddy Hull coming out with his own race team this season, and the amount of work that they would have undergone in the off-season. But he said that they'll be back, and they're also working on a second car as well. So
it's a Dodge, yeah? Was it?
Which one?
Buddy's car. Was it? Is it Dodge?
I didn't look too closely, to be honest.
I know Haddock's was a Mustang, yeah?
Once again, I didn't look too closely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Haddock's was a Mustang. I'm not sure about Buddy Hull's.
It's a Chrysler of some description, from memory.
Don't know. Dan Wilkerson, I didn't catch this.
Yeah, so I just caught it with the commentary team speaking about it before he was having one of his passes. So Dan Wilkinson is trialling the NHRA's new funny car tether system. So obviously there was a lot of driver comment feedback after last year. We saw the funny car tether system actually stay on too much for the car.
So for those of you that don't know what it is when the motors explode, the percussion is so severe, in some instances it blows the body apart.
Yeah.
To stop the crowd from getting injured, the NHRA has been working on for many years now a tether system to hold the major components of the body down onto the chassis. Unfortunately, though, what seems to be happening is you end up with a panel in your face, so you can't see where you're going at 300 mile an hour. This is somewhat problematic for the drivers.
Yeah, I think, was it Matt Hagan that commented on it?
Wrong caps.
Pretty strongly. There was a few instances last season.
Yeah,
but
Matt was definitely one of them. Yeah.
Matt Hagan.
Yeah, they were pretty strong against, like, this needs to be revised, this needs to be looked at. It's been introduced because of the potential harm for external people, because, you know, it used the bodies would fly.
Yeah.
Like, they would fly into the air. But now it's actually causing a lot more danger for the drivers. And they were. I'm going to say that for last season, because these tether systems, it's been in place for a while now. How long would you say? Like maybe 10 years? Am I going back too far?
It's been around for a while. They went for the double lock system as well. Remember, they had the single lock. They went to double lock. They tried the burst panels. Force came out with that burst panel when it was Ashley Force that was driving the funny car.
Courtney.
Yeah,
Ashley was a bit too far before this started happening.
I might have been Ashley, and the way that worked was if there was an explosion, the panels would pop out. But I think it was too heavy.
I do know what you're speaking of. I'm not sure whether we've had the conversation about it before, but I'm trying to think when I've heard of it being spoken about. But anyway, the latest system that they've been running, it's really kept the front on a lot. Surrounding.
Just on that, how do you think Dan Wilkerson feels that they picked him to test it?
I don't know whether it's a we'll choose you.
You know, you blow up all the time, so we're gonna.
Actually, do you know what? I think it was Dan as well that had one of the explosions where the tether system ended up being a disadvantage or fault. We might need to go back and check on that.
We should do some stats on that. Who's blown the most bodies off?
Can we rely on you to test our new product? I just thought that was interesting to mention because of the amount of feedback that the drivers had of it last year.
What about Maddie Gordon?
Maddie, my gosh, is she just settling in just fine, making it through to the semi-finals. Holy moly. And
she took out Tony Stewart as well.
Tony Schumacher,
Tony
Schumacher,
yeah.
And Sean Langton.
Yeah.
I mean, he hosts the tyres. And yeah, it's she. Where am I starting with this conversation? The excitement that she has.
Yeah.
So she's Monster Energy has actually come on board as a sponsor for her, and I think it was Brian Loans up in the commentary saying, "Oh, and I thought, this is great and good for her, but does she need any more energy?" And
she's amazing. She's really, someone that once again is so grateful that they're in that position.
Yeah, and just so much raw emotion, and it's just completely unfiltered. But I say unfiltered as in like it's just coming straight out of her brain, But she'll say like, "Oh shoot," and she'll be like, "Dang it!" Like,
dang it.
And, but it's just really cool to see. Like she's only just licensed in this car, and to get through, she qualified 15th. I think it was also really, really cool. Ron Capps has said that he's not putting her up for any media type press releases or conferences until after the US Nationals because he wants her just to be focused on racing, which is, for someone whose team would benefit from your media exposure, I think that is you've got your head in the right place.
Yeah, I think he just wants to take the pressure off of her.
Yeah.
So, did you guys know that Jordan Vandergriff has been on The Bachelorette twice?
Has he?
Yeah.
Well,
Can't say I knew that.
No, well, there you go.
He didn't find love the first time?
No, he's Bachelorette.
He's one of the
boys.
suitors.
Yeah, so but that's my point.
He didn't find love.
He
only had two. He only had two chances.
He was out in the semis.
He wasn't chosen.
No, but
he qualified along with 20 others.
Was he promoted? Was he promoted?
Did he get a flower?
Did he make it through to the finals?
Was he promoted as a Nitro Funny Car driver?
I don't know. But
that would have helped.
I just think that having him and Maddie Gordon in this season is going to be so good to attract that younger audience.
I'm going to put them on maps, are we?
Yeah, I was like, hang on a second. What are we doing? We're not like matchmaking here.
Just they've got a huge social media following. You know what I mean? And they're really, really cool people.
Yeah, but Maddie's got a social media following from drag racing and from what she has built with her family in drag racing. And Jordan, his family has built a lot in drag racing too. But if a lot of those followers are just going for him for his blonde hair and blue eyes that they've seen on Bachelorette... Look, at the end of the day,
and then they
it's
discover
marketing
drag racing.
numbers, it's exposures, we're reaching another demographic.
100%.
We'll get
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
But is that something I thought you would be excited for?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's fantastic.
You just want one of those, the Paris Netflix series that you got onto. The one I'm talking about?
Well, there is a new TV series, actually. It's... what's it called? I messaged you guys in the group chat.
Oh no,
I missed it.
That was that I had. No, that was.
Oh, the one that you want.
That was no good, man. That was like.
What do you mean?
That was out there. That one.
Which what?
The one you sent us.
Was that quite a while ago? And you wanted to get us on board with you because Nicole didn't like it?
No, I don't know.
Obscure to say the least.
Obscure? No, I
know the one you're talking about.
The guy that used to buy all the houses from the block.
My Renault Rules. Sorry, I thought you were talking about
My Renault Rules.
I thought you were talking about. I know. I thought you were talking about the one that was on.
That's
Netflix.
Michelle.
Adrian,
that's Nicole. That's
Porticelli.
Nicole.
Yeah, Adrian.
Yes.
So has
Renault
that
Rules.
started
It
now?
will be starting once Australian Idol's finished.
Yeah,
Correct.
So
yes.
that was the big thing at the end of the block.
Correct.
Last year
yes.
that he wasn't going to be purchasing any.
Yeah. So what they've done different this time is because he knows that those houses are crap, he's going to give them away rather than trying to sell them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, moving on. So Austin Prock.
You can't. Wait a second. I mean, I'm interested in continuing on with your next bit, but how do you win?
How do you win?
Or is it just for the
I
people
guess
doing
they're
it?
probably
Is it a
gonna-
competition? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Channel
there's
7.
a competition within the contestants, but then they're going to give them away. So they're probably going to have some stupid code at the end of it, QR code, and you've got to collect them all like they're Pokemon or something. It'd be some dumbass thing just to make it show as if people are watching it.
We'll probably give them away on the LCMT Plus.
Maybe he'll do that. Who knows? But it'll be a scam to get sponsors to give them the materials for free, and the labour to a certain extent, because they all use these labour hire companies. The contestants don't really do much other than push a roller every once in a while for the camera, and then he'll make his money off the TV side of it, like Fremantle Media does.
That's okay.
I'm ex-industry,
but then he's giving them away, so we like the outcome, and I think.
He couldn't sell the other ones, so he's got to give them away.
I don't think that's his issue he created for himself necessarily. Like at the end of the day, the block couldn't sell any of them.
He still bought them.
They're building, and
he could have said, you know what, these are crap, I'm not buying them.
It's just their market that they were targeting with their houses in the most recent X amount of seasons is just a very small target market. Then say country living 4 hours away from your I think city or something like that, and you still want to buy a $3 million house.
I think they don't care because I was working in Sydney when the inception of it happened, and I remember standing around with a bunch of TV executives talking about it, going, "This is brilliant. He's going to get all the material for free. They're going to make money on the sale of the properties. They're getting the labour for free. You can't go wrong. And then the TV show's a bonus on the the end of it. Anyway, Austin Prock. So The biggest thing to happen at the Gators is...
Do we give him that?
Well, we're not giving him anything.
I'm saying it's the biggest thing.
Well, it was because, and I've got some stuff that I need to tell you guys. I didn't get a chance to tell you this in the group chat, right? So
tell us.
So he did not qualify. Okay, why is this a big deal? Because he has got his whole team, the whole team. They walked out of John Force Racing with everyone, right? But they did some nasty stuff on the way out. And I don't know if this is public knowledge or not.
And can I stop you right there? The car that he walked away from went into the semis, correct? Jordan made the semis.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, they were qualified. They had to face each other in the first round or second round?
Jordan was...
He made the semis.
Yeah.
And the other car, all right, not his car, but the other car made the final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Alexis in the final.
Alexis in the final. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
But all three cars qualified. And they put down some
16.
numbers in testing. He went 80 in testing, if I'm not mistaken.
Austin?
No.
Yeah. No, I was thinking, I didn't think that Austin actually did anything in testing either.
Did absolutely nothing. So he was devastated. He gave a terrible interview, blamed the NHRA for the track.
Poor. So poor. You can't brush over that.
No, it was terrible, and how he couldn't control himself, and
He blamed them from not cleaning up the track properly, saying that there was still oil on the track.
Yeah, and then he had to put the car off to one side. But he'd had 3 previous attempts.
Yeah, previous attempts and testing days in the lead up, and you think it's because of that one chance that you missed out on.
If you are a professional team, you will want to put the car in the show first before you try and light up the scoreboards with, a new track record. That's what you've got to do. You've got to get that car in the field first, right? Now, we knew it was going to be a 4-something bump. So it wasn't that hard to go down there and lay down a 4-1 or something to put you comfortably somewhere in that field, right? So I don't know why they missed the mark so bad. It was an incredible achievement for John Force Racing to not only get those cars to the track, get the new driver's license in those cars, right? Because you had Josh Hart and Alexa. Obviously, she's driven before, but they had to merge that in, right? And they had to get Jordan Vandegrift licensed.
He was already licensed, right?
Top Fuel.
Okay.
So he had to get a license. He had to get a funny car license, and they put down some solid numbers.
Yeah.
And they had a solid outing. They won Top Fuel.
Yeah, won Top Fuel.
Runner up.
Yeah.
They had a solid. Now, where does that leave Prock? Right. We know, the three of us know, Bob Tasca is ruthless. He's arguably the most ruthless owner in that sport. We have seen him get rid of entire crews, just like that. Right. So where does this leave him?
That's a good question.
How many events?
Regan is going to be like, get out, I'll show you how it's done.
Well, Austin kind of said himself, like he kind of laid down. He said,
we're going to win the next 3.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He did. He kind of said that.
He said when his dad went over to Schumacher's or something.
Now, I'll tell you something. Before that interview, all through qualifying, because I was lucky enough to be able to watch it all and watch some other side bits, which is rare for me. All through qualifying, people were discussing the track, right? Okay, so they had profiled the track and they had given it a crest, right? Primarily for drainage, something that, we all know is probably not a good idea, right? And the new profile wasn't taking the rubber. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we spray glue and we rub rubber into the track so that the rubber on the slick sticks to the track better. So when you get to the track, sometimes you can smell this odour. That's the glue, VHT, JP. Well, there's a lot of different ones that they use. But it needs a profile on the track to stick to, and apparently it wasn't sticking that good. But every single
rider, driver interviewed. Every single one said, but you know what? We're all racing on the same track.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever the track is, it is. We're all racing on the same track. And, you know, I tell you what, we saw some 340 mile an hour runs. So, you know, and the weather, like, it was humid.
Yeah.
You could see the humidity. They were just all sweating, right? And it was 90 degrees for most of the event, which is like 32, 33.
Raining just before the finals.
Yeah. So, I don't know. He's gonna have to deliver.
Bob Tasca has confirmed though that he will be returning to the driver's seat. They're getting a second car ready. There's said a bit of a up in the air, like whether it's the end of this season or whether it'll be beginning of next. But he's not leaving driving duties completely.
Can I just interrupt for a sec? Do you think it's interesting that the NHRA used, you said it wasn't a good look, he bagged the NHRA, but the NHRA were quick to put that video up and actually promote that video. Do you think they're having a bit of enjoyment with it, with Austin Prock's?
You know, when I think, my first thought went to Bob Tasca's and Steve Torrance's comments about NHRA. Well, Steve's wasn't NHRA directly. He more said it's hard when you're fighting against the organisation. But what was the post-race interview or post-round interview that Bob Tasca did that was quite...
Oh, that was the intake manifold.
The intake,
intake gate.
Yeah.
Intake gate.
He had his,
his
intake manifolds
he had
taken off him.
I think it was a Wilson sticker on. Was it Wilson? Yeah. Which make I think you've got a Wilson. Was this the
beginning of last season?
It would have been about.
It was like a. It was right at. No. I'm not speaking about that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm speaking of when he said like, Fox. It was when he was saying like Fox is promoting
that was
Fox
about was about the IndyCar.
Yeah.
Because Fox.
But you're still kind of like speaking against your promoters, broadcasters a bit in there.
Oh, he was putting his best foot forward for the.
No, I don't think.
I remembered it being a bit. I couldn't remember that.
I don't disagree with what he did there, because aside from land speed racing, drag racing is well and truly the fastest sport in the world.
So it was IndyCar that they were touting as the
which is like,
don't make me laugh.
Door slammers go faster than Indy cars.
Super Sedan cars can go faster.
There are some top sportsman cars that are faster than Indy cars. That's correct.
So Nick, you're wondering why NHRA have given him the extra kind of publicity from these comments.
Yeah. They're really promoting that interview.
There's many personalities of drag racing, and there's not many people at all. I take people for who they are, and a lot of the time I can morph and adapt to be able to get along with that type of personality just fine. Austin really threw me off. It was after a pass last season, and he got a bit wobbly out of shape, and he
went out first round,
and he was like, I just get made to look like a fool, and he was really dummy spit, sore loser, and I just thought that is ugly behaviour,
especially when there's the silver platter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you could not ask. You're in John Force Racing. Your brother is the car chief. Your dad is the crew chief. You're in arguably the best funny car team, driving the best funny car out there with the best crew chief. You got nothing to complain about. You should be like, just, if you go out, if you don't qualify, you should be pumped.
I was made to make a fool of myself, and it was just, I just was like, that's turned me off completely.
Yeah.
But then the little bits of the story that we're getting behind the John Force move, and it's just like the amount of loyalty and passion that
John Force had for Austin, and then seeing
allegedly.
What that has. I mean,
no, I think John's love for him was genuine.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that happened, that allegedly happened about the parts.
That allegedly.
Being sold.
But then see him speak again of this one. It's going to be. I don't know if there's any coming back for me.
So you guys ever follow wrestling, like WWE? Yeah. Do you know what a heel is?
It's like the fool of the show.
Or the bad guy.
Yeah.
The bad guy. You have a heel. If you don't have a heel, you can't have a hero. You know what I mean?
Does anyone want to be the heel?
I don't. I always like to be
wrestling.
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
I kind of like that.
It's I don't think it's a good look.
Remember Jerry
Losing my
Tolliver
voice.
came to NHRA drag racing?
Yeah.
He was kind of like the... Well, he came from... Didn't he come from WWE?
Yeah, he was a wrestler.
Yeah. Like,
He
He raced funny car, didn't he?
Yeah.
We've had a few. Isn't like even Trip Tatum? Isn't he a comedian or something?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But he played that part really well, Jerry Tolliver, back in the 90s. I remember that. Fond memories of that, actually.
All right, so a couple of things that I want to go over before we wind it up. Fuel prices.
Ooh.
So I've been following this. The Australian stock market crashed badly today, except for Santos and other gas companies. So what's happened is because of the war, the boats are kind of or the ships are kind of self-insured now. The company that owns them covers the insurance. The days of Lloyd's and that, apparently that's all changed. So all the owners have pulled their insurance. Now it's not so much because they're worried about replacing the ship. It's more about the cleanup cost of the oil.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So Trump has said, well, there's $20 billion insurance on anyone going through the strait, and they're going to have air support and Navy support as well. But the ships have gone, 20 billion's not enough, because if the oil, damages the environment, it's going to cost more than that to clean it up. So no one's game enough to do it. Now, apparently last night a Greek ship did what they call a run, right? And that's where you turn all your lights off, you turn off the tracker that they're not allowed to turn off, and you just go for it, because then they can't see you on the tracking system. And they made it through. And they think there's going to be more ships that are going to have a crack at doing that. But yeah, if they get hit and then there's oil contamination, it's problematic. So what I've researched is they expect that, so as of me putting this together, it basically, the price of oil has doubled. It's gone from $60-70 a barrel US to $120 a barrel US. They expect that petrol in Australia could go as $5, as high as $5 a litre. They've already started to ration petrol. The wholesalers have started to ration it, and diesel as well. Now this is really a problem, and you can tell us all about this, because we're leading up to harvest season.
That's right. Yep.
And the farmers,
seeding.
seeding, and the farmers are going to need
Urea.
And diesel.
Diesel.
Yep. So what, they've already harvested, yeah?
Yeah, harvest finished before Christmas this year.
Right, okay. So seeding is what we're coming up to. Yeah, okay. So our stockpile, and this has been brought up multiple times, multiple governments talking about it. We've heard it on the news, in newspapers, on the radio, that we've shut down all these refineries. We've only got a couple of active refineries left in Australia now. So we actually get our petrol already refined and our diesel already refined from Singapore, rather than just bringing in crude oil and refining it ourselves. So we only have, it's like 30-something days of reserve. Now, because the ships aren't passing through there, they can't get the oil to Singapore for them to refine it, for us to have fuel. So at this stage, unless something dramatic changes in the Middle East, Australia will run out of fuel within 3 to 5 weeks. Now, in amongst all of this, the politicians that have come forward and spoken about this, and this falls under Chris Bowen. Chris Bowen's portfolio. They're all saying, don't go panic buying. But I can't blame anyone that's going and panic buying. Apparently Bunnings has sold out of jerry cans.
Oh,
right?
Okay, wow.
That's, yeah, so it's like the toilet paper situation.
My mind went straight to that, but then I think, well, you can only fill up your tank so much, but if you're going and buying, not everyone can stockpile.
Yeah.
But then I suppose you can if you're doing jerry cans.
But Chris Bowen was interviewed multiple times today regarding it, and he said, look, there's no problems with supply. This is all rubbish. The problem is demand. The demand is too high, and that's from people panic buying. I don't really agree with that. I think that they have had decades to sort this out. Yeah. And they were talking about storing fuel in America at one stage. You remember they bought some tanks in America and they were storing fuel. Seems like, bit of a trek to get the fuel from there to here, but
Don't
anyway.
We have plenty of free space at our own?
Yes, we do. But anyway, so that was something I just wanted to touch on. We will keep you all up to date with this. Whatever happens in the next 2 weeks. Obviously, Iran has, as of today, got a new leader. They've voted in the son of the Ayatollah. Okay, so that was one thing I wanted to touch on. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the Matildas game. I watched the Matildas game. One of my kids is mad for soccer, so the three of us sat down and watched the Matildas game. I am embarrassed to be Australian. They are. This is what happens when money gets into sports. They are the worst example of representatives for this country, and I would really like them to stop wearing the Australian colours, because they acted disgustingly against Korea. In the equalising goal in the closing minutes of the game, the goalie for Korea had the ball and was about to bounce it down in frustration, because it was 3-3 at that stage. Korea, I believe, is going through. Matildas won't be going through because they had to win that game, not just draw it. And I forget the player's name. She ran up behind the Korean goalie, wrapped her arms around her and threw her down on the ground like a thug. It was disgusting, absolutely disgusting to watch. And even throughout the game, Kerr's slurs were just unbelievable. Everyone seems to have forgotten this is the multi-million-dollar per season player that smashed up a cabbie's cab and refused to pay the cabbie, and then had the soccer team supply her with multi-million-dollar lawyers to defend her actions, and she managed to get off. Really, it seems as though police were pressured into not pursuing it as much as they should have. This is the problem. This is why greats like Sir Jack Brabham, oh God, I've had a mental blank. The cricketer, Sir
Donald
Jeez, Brad.
I wasn't expecting me to be
Donald. Yeah, well, there you go. We're so against bringing money into sports because it corrupts sports, and right now, the Matildas. A lot of people don't know this, but they were beaten by an under-15s team a boys under 15s team. So that just gives you an idea of the. It was the Newcastle Jets beat them years ago. So it gives you an idea of the calibre of these people. Like they're not super athletes. They're there because they want to have this women's sport thing, and I'm all for that. But they should be conducting themselves better. Now they did the same sort of antics against Iran, and the Iran women's team, there's talk that they can't go back to Iran.
No, they can't.
Right? Now, you would think, in days gone by, athletes would help other athletes that were in that position. They would help them leave their country, defect. There was this camaraderie that we're above this because we're sports people.
Yeah.
Right? They are just conducting themselves really badly, and I encourage everyone that listens to this show, don't buy anything from their sponsors. Just send a message that you get paid millions of dollars to go and kick a ball, right? You should do better. You should be the best of us.
It's really disheartening that the conversation went in a completely different direction that I thought. When you say, you get paid to kick a ball, they're getting paid to be ambassadors.
Correct.
As well. They're being paid to be role models.
Yeah.
And that's not behaviour that you want to then be influencing
and
anyone at home.
If it was you or I, if we had a sponsor and we conducted ourselves in the way that this team conducts themselves, we would have that sponsorship pulled immediately.
100%.
Right? But because it's...
But also, I'm very conscious. You might want to do something, but you think this is going to have repercussions.
And that's the problem, Michelle.
Because it's maybe someone might take it this way, maybe someone... You're supposed to think before you speak, think before you act, know what the following outcome could be, and that's...
Look, it didn't go unnoticed to the umpire. The umpire issued her with a yellow card immediately, didn't even hesitate. But it was the end of the game. It had no effect on the game, right? The problem for me was, I'm sitting there with my kids, they've just seen it and gone, what? Because soccer's meant to be non-contact, and for her, the ball was not in play. They'd scored a goal. The goalie was very frustrated, was about to bounce the ball, right, just out of frustration.
Yeah,
and she gets tackled down like a rugby player, thrown on the ground like a rag doll. It was disgusting. And like I said, the same thing with the Iran game. All I kept on thinking is, you guys should be really compassionate towards these people, because they are in a very, very, very difficult position at the moment.
They can't go home.
That's what I mean.
They're facing the death penalty.
Yes, that's right. See, there was a time when there was honour among sporting people, and they probably would have said, we're going to throw the game, you guys win it, because of what they're going through, to bring attention to the Iranian team. Nah, they just went in there and demolished them, like absolutely no regard for them. And then made a big deal about it. That's the worst part about it. Like, they're sore winners to add to that.
Rubbing dirt in the wound.
Yeah, that's right. And like I said, they're not going to get cancelled. They are the people that cause other people to get cancelled, but they won't get cancelled. And that's not right. They should get cancelled. All of their sponsors should say, what you did at the Asian Cup is just not acceptable, and we're all pulling our sponsorship. You all get paid enough money as yourselves, you can sponsor yourselves. Anyway, that's my little...
It's very disheartening. They had a lot of limelight the last few years, but to see that it's being worked in this way, it's just, it's... what
was worse was the media didn't cover that.
Not at all.
They didn't, but if you watch the game, everyone that I spoke to watch the game said, what? Why did she do that? Why did she, it wasn't even like she was near the goalie. She went out of her way to grab the goalie and throw her on the ground. It was,
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to end on that, but...
Well, and this is why we're a motorsport and automotive podcast and we're not soccer fans. Not personally myself, but I don't think you'd want me to start... You know what, I might start watching it just to see the behaviour.
Well, it's the world game.
To then be against it because they should be role models.
Better ambassadors.
Absolutely. Well, that brings our show to an end. Just some up-and-coming events. We've got the Tarmac Rally Sprint Round 5 on Thursday, the 19th of March from the Perth Motorplex.
And then we've got the Northern Steel Car Show, Sunday the 22nd of March, where we'll be hosting this event live from Perry Lakes.
Come the 28th and 29th of March, you'll have your NDRC Riverbend Nationals from Taylor Bend.
Awesome.
Looking forward to that one.
Do we know where the MotoGP is going to happen? Is it a street circuit?
It's, I told you, we spoke about that
last
100%.
100%.
Yeah, Nick was very sure of that at the last episode. Oh, you were wondering whether it was going to be at Taylor.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work on a street circuit.
No, neither do I. But, yeah.
The Formula One works, I've got to admit. That the Albert Park, is that?
Albert Park,
yeah.
It looked really good.
It did. It did. But it's different, isn't it?
Adelaide's very different. Adelaide's very different. Well, it's been a busy weekend of racing, so maybe we can give that some more thought and research.
Great start to the season.
So, yeah.
Can't wait.
Across both.
Everything.
Yeah, I'm excited for this season to come, for season of motorsport in general.
I'm excited to see Brodie take out more races.
Done very well.
All right, well, thanks very much, guys. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Solomon.
Thanks. See you.